Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Max and Juan cast via Zoom. Max, Sunday night. It's kind of feeling like a little bit like football season with the whole Zoom thing, bro. I
You
miss
know,
you, dog.
I miss you too. Even though we saw each other 3 days ago for like the longest show in our short history, it was so fun
Was
though.
it?
Oh, it's
Was
gotta
it?
be. It was like 3.5 hours.
I could have sworn we did more for the playing game. You don't think so?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good one. I feel like throughout this draft it was hard to grade it in a sense because I didn't feel like there was a team that I was like, wow, they're so stupid. I was like,
Yeah.
everyone kind
It
of
was
did
a
it.
fun it was a fun draft, Max. It was. Look, yeah, it may have been, star power wasn't there like last year with all the quarterbacks, but I enjoyed it. I know you enjoyed it. Everyone that joined the stream, it seemed like everyone enjoyed it. We had fun. Uh, we appreciate anyone who stopped by and threw down a comment or liked the video or was in the stream for anywhere between a second. And shout out to anyone who stayed for the whole thing because legitly there was. Shout out to Joey. Shout out to Isaiah. Shout out to Dak and so many more people who I'm forgetting. I apologize, but we're happy to do that, bro. Like it was so fun. We really appreciate you guys. But tonight we're gonna do winners and losers. And like Max said, it was hard as hell to pick losers, man, because I wouldn't really say no one had a like great picks. I would just say a lot of the picks that happened were chalk picks. Like, yeah, okay, kind of seen that one coming, kind of thing. And if you didn't see it coming, it was like, okay, but it makes sense, kind of thing. And day 2 happened and day 3, the draft is concluded now. So we've been throwing up our day 1 reactions on how we felt on night 1 of specific picks, but things have changed, especially I'm going to lead this off because I do want to talk about them. Um let's start with the Green Bay Packers, Max, because this was a team that got a lot of criticism from us specifically and the chat. The chat was going in and Twitter was going in on the Packers. But things have changed. Day 2 happened in day 3. Go ahead and elaborate on that, Max.
Well, it seems like after day one, everyone was just clowning these fools for not taking a wide receiver. And I mean, we were a part of it. We liked their picks. We graded their picks well, but just in the overall scheme of things with Aaron Rodgers, frustrations being made public right after the draft, we panned their draft. We were just like, hey, man, you got to take a wide receiver. And then in round 2, they took someone we said they should take in round 1. So I think, like, for me, the narrative kind of changed for them because I was like, well, they kind of played the board well. I wanted them to
And they
take.
finally traded up to get that
Yeah,
guy.
exactly, exactly. So they ended up taking that wide receiver. I still feel like taking that first round receiver, it just kind of carries a little more weight to it and gives them a little bit more. But you can see their draft class: Quay Walker, Devonte Wyatt, Christian Watson. Um, those are like some of my favorite players in the draft. And Watson's a huge unknown. Wyatt's a monster. Quay Walker, I had on my top 5 linebackers. I like their draft. I really do. And
Yeah.
maybe we were just a little bit too harsh on them.
Yeah, I love the Devonte Wyatt pick specifically, but I love Christian Watson, but the thing that scares me about him, Max, is like how much time is Aaron Rodgers going to give this kid? Because he's I would like to compare him to kind of like Trey Lance in a sense. Like small school guy, has all the tools, has all the measurements, but he's a project receiver in a sense. Doesn't have the best hands, has to develop that. Not the best route runner. So how much patience is Aaron Rodgers going to have? Like you seen Amari Rodgers last year, a guy who everyone the consensus thought, oh, this guy's talented. Like pick him up in dynasty and fantasy leagues because he might get a lot of touches. No, he did not sniff the field that much. So it concerns me about Christian Watson. And to me, going by the first 2 picks that they have, which was defense, This team is trying to win now. Aaron Rodgers is not getting any younger. This little window that they have of them paying them all this money, it's now.
I feel like one with the Christian Watson thing, it's not the fact that I don't think he'll be good. It's like what you said, the window is now. That's why I think everyone had Olave mocked there because Olave was a plug and play player. Watson might be, but if I'm a betting man and I'm really not, I'd go with Olave. Olave is going to be ready from day one to start. And Watson, it's going to be tough. You playing with the great quarterback Aaron Rodgers, he can make you look great. But we've heard the stories about how hard he is on rookie receivers, and if this pick doesn't work, it's just going to open up the floodgates and just criticism.
Once upon a time, Devontae Adams, it took a while for him to get going when he started off his career in Green Bay. But I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here because I didn't want to have him on my losers list for sure after I seen the conclusion of the draft. The one thing I would say that I'm going to stick to and giving him criticism for, when your window is like that, Max, I feel like you need to be aggressive. I think that's the way to go. I think it's a winning recipe. You look at the Rams, you look at the Chiefs, and when you have that little window, you got to be aggressive. Like, just look at the Saints. Even though they're not in that window, they have a guy like Jameis Winston, and look how aggressive they went to go get a guy like Chris Olave. If I would have seen the Packers do that aggressive stuff to get a guy like Chris Olave, I would have fucking loved it. I would have been like, hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Or whoever was their guy. Because you had to think, Max, them sitting at that spot, they had a guy that they had to love that got picked.
Oh, exactly. And I think something else we need to think about is we saw Jamar Chase as a rookie, his impact. We saw Justin Jefferson's impact as a rookie, A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf, all these good rookie receivers. I love Devontae Wyatt. I think Quay Walker will be good, but will they be as impactful as a really, really good receiver for them? And that's unlikely. And there's been a lot of talk about receivers. You know, the Eagles traded for A.J. Brown during the draft and gave him $100 million. There's been a lot of talk. Is, hey, is it worth it to pay receivers? And I think the jury's still out on that one. It's just becoming a running back-ish position in a sense where you maybe never have to invest money because there's these guys grow on trees. We always hear that, right? One, receivers grow on trees. You can find a receiver. You can find the Amon-Ra St. Brown, fifth round, Tyler Lockett, third round, DK Metcalf, second. So I think there's a very fine balance of when to get a receiver and when is giving up too much. Because as good as Devontae Adams is one, y'all didn't give up much for him. I know he needed a contract. But
I mean, I think that's going to go down as one of the most egregious trades of all time.
I don't think it will. I really don't think it will.
I think it will. And the fact that you get a guy like Quay Walker, which all kudos to him. Like he's a great player and he's probably going to be good, but you give up a generational talent in Devontae Adams for that. And it comes back to what I said on draft night. It's like everyone's so enamored with, oh, we got a first round pick. Yeah, let's see who the actual player is. Like, then the value drops. I've been here before. I've been down this road. Khalil Mack with the Raiders. Try to talk myself into, we got 3 first round picks. Where are they now? Still got to draft the right guy.
But where are the Bears? Did it really change the trajectory of the Bears? Yeah, it was impactful. It helped them that first year. But in the grand scheme of things, was Khalil Mack making $40 million a year on your defense going to change your defense?
Yeah.
Y'all had him when you were the 32nd.
I would just say this.
No, I agree, though. Those 3 picks ended up being trash for you guys because you picked all 3 of the guys I don't think you're even keeping.
Yeah. And I would just say this. The Raiders would rather be in the Bears situation the last years that they had Mac than what they were doing.
Yeah.
The Raiders were doing losing season. A team will take that any day. But let's move on. That was a neutral one. Honestly, if you're arguing that the Packers are losers, I can see it. And if someone's arguing, we're not losers, like we got a guy, I can see both sides. I really do. So that's why I wanted to start off with them. But Max, go ahead and let's start with the winners, man. Start it off with a banger. Who's one of your winners? And I hope you pick the one from the tone of my voice that you going to pick, man, because I love their draft too.
I didn't pick the Raiders one. I'm sorry to tell you, but I did pick my Philadelphia Eagles. I alluded
Yes,
to them
sir.
earlier. I honestly can't remember maybe the Carson Wentz thing. Just like you can see the guys on the graphic, Jordan Davis, um, Nakobe Dean, Cameron Jurgens, Kyron Johnson, Grant Calcarata. I don't know how to say his name very good. I just love what we did. We got a top 5 player in the draft. We got a guy who can potentially change our defense. We needed to get younger, as one shows him on the screen. Godzilla, Jordan Davis, big boy, hog molly, whatever you want to call him. And then we got the best receiver in the draft. We got A.J. Brown. Traded the 18th pick, which became Treylon Burks. I wanted Treylon Burks when you know how high I was on him. And I was like, wow, this guy's like an A.J. Brown, DBO Samuel. But we got the real deal. We didn't get something that could be that. So that's what I love about him. The contract, it's really not that bad. It's only 2 years of guaranteed money. 57
It's
mil, that's
really
not that
not.
much. And A.J. Brown, one, you're a big fan. You're a bigger fan than I am of him. The Eagles were aggressive at the right time. It's like, that's what kills me about the Packers. One, you wouldn't just throw a first and a third to go get him.
Yeah. And then you got arguably probably the best value in the draft of this whole entire process. Nakobe Dean, third
Yeah,
round,
if he's
83rd
healthy,
pick.
I'm excited because we haven't had a linebacker since like Jeremiah Trotter and Nigel Bradham, who's been worth the shit for our team. The cornerback's still a problem one, but overall, I feel like we played the board well, and we've always talked about it. You don't like to talk about it because you don't think it matters, but playing the board in the draft is important. And
Mike
the Eagles,
Mayock doesn't.
yeah, that's why he's not there. But the Eagles were able to wait. They jumped Baltimore. They got their guy in Jordan Davis, and I just love their draft, man. I feel like it gives us youth because this is a team. I've told you, it's weird we have some youth, but we have so many old guys that are aging. And I think like Cameron Jurgens is going to come in. And he's going to be the Kelsey. He's going to be the successor for Kelsey.
And I don't know if you've seen this, Max, but Bleacher Report had him on like the streaming shit.
I did. That shit was
fucking
crazy.
stoked. He was stoked. He's gonna be willing to teach this guy, teach him the ropes. Like same thing with Fletcher Cox with Jordan Davis. They're gonna be able to mold these guys, teach them the ins and outs of how to be a professional in the league. I love it. I think it was a home run for the Eagles, no doubt. Like out of every single team, Howie Roseman knocked it out of the park. I felt like he played the board perfectly. He got value where he needed, and he was aggressive at the same time. Like a perfect blend of what you need out of a GM. Because the AJ Brown, you said it beautifully on our stream. You said this, like, we got the best player in the draft. We got a known commodity. We know what AJ Brown is going to bring to the table. And it's fantastic, dude. I'm happy for your Eagles. I'm excited. This puts all the pressure on Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, that's what I like
far.
about it, though, Juan. That's what I like about it. It's just, hey, is this guy the guy or is he not? And you know what, Juan? We have 2 first-round picks next year. We can move up. We have ammunition to move up and do whatever we want. That's what I loved
CJ
about it.
Stroud time.
Maybe Bryce Young, whatever. We haven't even got into the quarterbacks. Me and Juan are going to release our 2023 mock tomorrow. We'll see how it goes.
Right. Oh, man. But congratulations to the Eagles, man. You guys hit it out of the park. Let's go to one of my winners. And I'm going to start off with the division rivals. I hate these dudes so much, but the Kansas City Chiefs, man, Andy Reid fucking killed it. Their whole scouting department. And this is number 2, in my opinion. Like Trent McDuffie, whatever you want to think about George Kalafakis, who I like to call him Kofalophagus. Like the position where they took him, I love it. Like I like where they took him, and they didn't panic. Everyone expected them to go receiver, but the first 3 picks, as you can see, McDuffie, Kalafakis, Brian Cook, safety out of Cincinnati, who's a baller, and then they got Sky Moore out of Boise State. Like, dude, Leo Chenault, 3rd round. Like, I absolutely love what the Chiefs did. I said it on draft night. McDuffie is the replacement for Tyrann Mathieu. He really is. He's so versatile as a player. He can play in the slot. He can play in the box. He can play free range safety. Even if you want to throw him out on an outside corner type role, he's going to be able to do it. He's a great tackler. He's willing to get out the ball. Like McDuffie was a great pick and that's the fact that they traded up with the New England Patriots to go get him. So they loved McDuffie. They seen the value there. Chiefs knocked it out of the park, dude. They needed a great draft. They're kind of in the middle where I wouldn't really say they're rebuilding, Max. I would like to say they're reloading. That's what they're doing.
They basically attacked every level of their defense. They got an edge.
Yeah.
They got a linebacker that they've sorely needed. But Nick Bolton's good, so now you might have two good ones. They got a sticky cornerback. Karlaftis, man, me and you weren't the biggest fans of him, but we still were like, damn, he's a pretty good guy. He might be able to give them some tweener ability, come in the inside, go from the outside, help out the run defense. Now you don't have to put up 40 points a game. And I'm going to say this. The Chiefs offense probably won't be as explosive this year. They just lost the biggest play receiver in football history, maybe.
Right.
So they've thought, hey, let's just win gritty. Let's have some guys up there who can mush it up. They have a good O-line, Juan. For as good as their O-line is, you think their run game will be better. And maybe that's something they kind of work on this offseason because Patrick Mahomes already gives you good ability to run because they're going to just be playing two high safeties. So I like what the Chiefs did. I agree, man. This division, this whole offseason has been crazy of just teams loading up to compete. And again, man, I say this not even really just like my initial reaction is the Raiders are in fourth, but they're going to be a really good football team, man. It's just not fair to them. Like if the Raiders go 7-10 next year, it's like that sounds bad, right? Yeah. But when you're playing 6 games a year against Super Bowl contending teams,
there's going to be a team. I don't know who it's going to be. It can be the Broncos. I really don't think it's going to be the Chiefs. The Broncos, the Raiders, or the Chargers are going to be the one team out of this division where they lose like 9, 8, 10 games in that area. And they're going to be like, fuck, like disappointment. But everyone was throwing haymakers this offseason. Chargers, Raiders, Broncos. Chiefs were kind of being passive to the point they traded their best receiver. They're like, we're cool. Just watch us do what we do. We draft well. We're a great organization. We got one of the best quarterbacks in the league, like Max said. And we got one of the best head coaches in the league. Some of the best coaching is in Kansas City. They're going to be able to coach all these young guys up, and they're just going to rebuild and just off and running, dude. That I still got the Chiefs winning the division. I don't care who the Chargers got. I don't care who the Raiders got. I'm still scared shitless of these goddamn Chiefs. Next winner for you, Max.
I went with Baltimore, man. They picked one pick after the Eagles, and they got the best safety in the draft, who's just going to be a Swiss Army knife. They got the best center in the draft, who's going to help solidify that O-line and hopefully keep Lamar healthy. They got a first-round edge rusher. They got that dude, Travis Jones, who I know you were pissed about not getting for the Raiders. Yeah. They got this huge right tackle, is like an Orlando Brown, Jordan Maitala clone, Daniel Falele, and they got Jalen Armour Davis. And I feel like whenever they scout people from Bama, they just seem to work. No one was as high on Marlon Humphrey as they were, and he hit. Right. They just always find a way to get good players. They maybe don't always hit it out the park with superstars one, but it's like, damn, they're like a top 10 edge rusher, like Pernell McPhee, Phillip Wheeler, Tyus Bowser. It's like a factory there. And for a team that really needs talent, it's huge for them because they've lost a lot of guys over the years. Judon, Zadarius Smith.
Constantly, even back in the days, the Paul Krugers of the world, like they always constantly moving guys. And it's so funny too, because the league is scared shitless of the Ravens. Everyone tries to jump the Ravens. Everyone's like, let's jump them because they might take this guy right here. Like any Bama guy that's kind of low-key falling and he's on the board, someone will trade up and be like, let's trade in front of the Ravens because they might take him. And they're like, cool, go ahead, take your guy. We'll just draft the Kyle Hamilton. We'll just draft Tyler Linderbaum. We'll just draft Ajabo. It's ridiculous, bro. And it seems like the ghost of Ozzie Newsome is still there, still lingers. I feel like he's still making these damn picks, but kind of similar to the Chiefs. They got great coaching. They got a great scouting department, great organization. I trust them every single year, dude. It's great drafting by them. I have on it. If you're a Ravens fan, bro, like how excited are you every year for the draft? Like you just get these
Exactly.
ballers.
Like when are you disappointed? It's like maybe Marquise Brown, you'd be like a little disappointed with, but he's still really good. Even though they
And
traded him this draft, and I feel
let's
like they won that trade already.
yes. What? Who the fuck would give up a first rounder for the damn Marquise Brown?
And he still needs to
That
be
was a
paid.
steal.
He needs to
Steal.
be paid.
Absolute steal, dude. The Ravens, definite winner, man. Love that pick. Let's go to another winner of mine. I went with the Houston Texans. They started off the night with a big bang with Derek Stingley to start it off. And mainly, I just love a lot of the players that they picked. I love Stingley at number 3. Kenyon Green, offensive guard out of Texas A&M. He's a stud. Jalen Petrie, one of my favorites out of the draft, and they steal him in the second round. And then they get a guy like John Mechie, who the Texans are not made to win now. I know he's hurt, but play for your future. Play for 2023 when you might be good. John Mechie is going to contribute to your team. It's not going to matter about this year. And I know it's a big risk with Derek Stingley. I understand that. But man, I love some of the players that they drafted, and they needed to hit the draft with a home run kind of guy in Derek Stingley. And I do think it's going to work out for them.
They got your boy Christian Harris, 2 out of Bama one, who's going to be really big for them. What I liked about their draft one is, if you look at the schools, it's LSU, A&M, Baylor, Bama, Florida. That's all in the South. That's all in their backyard. So what I'm guessing is they were like, hey, we're going to really hone in on the prospects from these places, and we're going to take them. And honestly, I don't mind what they did. People are mad they took Kenyon Green. Hey, you need a building block. You need to get that O-line right, because Laramie Tunsil might not be there in a year. Nothing about the Texans needs to be flashy. There was no quarterback for them to go get. And honestly, you don't want a quarterback to come into the situation they're in. All they got is Brandon Cooks, and now you add in Mechie. He might really be a player for them at the later part of this year when he recovers from his ACL injury. I love their draft. They played it safe in some areas, and they took a big swing at 3. And I think that's when he's going to work, man. As long as Stingley can be healthy, excuse me.
And Nick Caserio he went out of the box for that pick.
Exactly.
Everyone
No one
expects
had him.
No one. Absolutely. He kept that quiet. Everyone thinks Nick Caserio, Patriot guy. Oh, he's going to go with the safe pick. He's going to go with the low, what do you call it? Low ceiling?
No, high floor.
High floor, low ceiling. And Derek Stingley is just not that. Derek Stingley, it's a boomer bust type of situation. So I love the aggressiveness, but he still got leaders. Like Jalen Petrie was the absolute leader on Baylor. He did everything for them. So a little bit of mixture of both. Look, all these teams got something in common. They swing for the fences, but in times and situations where the draft comes to them, they're going to draft these studs that are just perfect fits, and it's like that makes sense. So Texans winner. Max, go ahead and give your last winner.
I went with the New York Jets. I love the way they played the board. They took Sauce Gardner, who again I had at my number 3 corner, but I think he's really freaking good. You don't see too many 6'3" corners. They got Garrett Wilson, who again me and you had at like 6, or you had him at 5. I had him at 6. He's a baller for them. Again, I would have went a different way. I would have rather had Olave. I would have had Treylon Burks, but still, I like the idea. They get their guy, which I like. And then they trade up and get Jermaine Johnson, who they has as a top 5 player. If you got him as a top 5 player, you get him at 26. Good for you. They add Breece Hall, Michael Carter. Damn, that's going to be scary. They add a tight end. And they even get a little bit of O-line help, man. I feel like they didn't do the Jet thing where they went and traded for someone and got like a John Ross or a freaking Stephen Hill from Georgia Tech who sucks, or Christian Hackenberg. They got guys who probably don't have the highest ceiling, but they have a really good freaking ceiling, and it's going to be just help this team build because at some point, you got to get the arrow moving in the other direction from just dumpster fire, and that's what they've
Right.
been. They've had a year with Todd Bowles where they were good, but Saleh and Joe Douglas, I feel like they're building something. That's actually like I see the blueprint. They're doing it. It's not just hey, we're just going to throw a bunch of shit against the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah. I mean, look, they've been the laughing stock of the league. Okay. And
Well,
I don't
Cleveland, but yeah,
I mean, at least Cleveland
I think
beat the
they're in a. How
Steelers in a
about this?
playoff game.
They're in a tight race for laughing stock of the league.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll get into them later, but um I like what the Jets did. I wouldn't say I love it. Just because of the Garrett Wilson thing, I would have picked different guys, but like I said earlier, they got their guy. That was the guy who they thought was the best receiver in the draft, and they had their pick and they got him. I would have picked Drake London if he was there. I just felt like he was a better pick, but he wasn't on the board. So who knows? But uh Breece Hall, I love that combination with them. That's the one pick that was a great freaking pick for the Jets. Let's move on to the New York Giants. New York teams making an entrance for winners because this is my last winner. Evan Neal, KAYVON Thibodeaux, like just alone getting those two guys. I don't care who else they got. They did the right thing. I felt like they were the ones giving out all this nonsense about KAYVON Thibodeaux, dropped his stock. No one thought, no way the Giants picked this guy. No way. The interviews didn't go good, blah, 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 blah. They pick him at 5. Potentially, Max, the Giants might have picked the best player in the draft.
The two
Because
best
that's
at
yeah,
each trench position. They got their franchise left tackle if they want, or a franchise right tackle. And like you said, this team desperately needed athleticism off the edge. They got that in spades with KAYVON Thibodeaux, man.
Yeah. They got a guy in Wandell Robinson out of Kentucky who I like. I'm glad that they didn't get another high price receiver in the first round like they always do the last couple of years. But this is it for Daniel Jones. He got Evan Neal. He got some protection on the offensive line. He got a difference maker in KAYVON Thibodeaux. He already has the receivers. This is it for Daniel Jones. But I like the direction that Brian Daboll and his staff are going with the New York Giants. It's it's looking up for the two New York squads. They are the two worst teams record-wise the last 5-7 years. It's not even close.
It's been bad. Buffalo has won more games than both of them combined. So it's like everyone it talks about it's the Giants, it's the Jets. Well, Buffalo's been the dog in New York for the last several years, and the picks weren't flashy. I mean, I guess Thibodeau's a little flashy, but Evan Neal, no one's gonna get super excited. But that's what you need. You attack two big needs, two premium positions. You got top guys at each, in my opinion. I'm just happy for them, man. They hit it out of the park. Even though I hate them and I don't want them to be good, I like the players. I'm not going to hold it against the players yet.
Yeah. Look, they had two picks that they had a nail, Max, and I think they did.
Yeah, the board fell perfectly, man. Whatever little smoke screen they were sending out about Thibodeaux, it worked. Because I wouldn't have bet $1 that the Giants were going to take him. I would have said Houston before them.
Yeah, they played it perfectly. They were for sure. They were probably the ones leaking all that bullshit. We don't like him. We don't like him. You fucking love the guy. Get out of here. These are people that people don't love, including me and Max. Some of the losers. Gotta have the losers on this list. Max, go ahead and start with one of your losers.
Okay. Sorry, let me just pull it up right here. I just don't get what Washington did one. Like this kind of makes me feel warm in my inside just because I hate them and I don't want them to do good. Like Jahan Dotson wasn't the best receiver left. I feel like he's not really a difference maker. He's just a guy who I really don't know what he's like a poor man Stephon Diggs. Like Fadarian Mathis again wasn't really someone I thought was going to go that freaking high. Brian Robertson's cool, but I just don't get why they went receiver. Why? And why go another? You need another D tackle. You need 4 of them now that are really good. Are you trying to build Bama's defensive line? I just don't get it. I feel like they had positions that needs at safety, at edge, not edge, excuse me, at linebacker a little bit. Jamin Davis wasn't that great, and maybe O line help. I know there wasn't like you could have got Trevor Penning. What's wrong with that?
Yeah. I don't know, man.
I mean,
I didn't.
Sorry, let me just add this. If you look at their like ownership and how dysfunctional they are, it just seems like the draft was just a reflection of that.
Yeah, it really was. Dotson, he's a good player. I don't hate Jahan Dotson. I just don't like him at number 14. I don't like him that much. And let me eat crow when that day happens when he becomes an all-pro. But until then, I'll keep on talking my shit, bro. And it's most likely not going to happen for a guy that they overpaid for because they were bidding against themselves to add, and the guy in Carson Wentz. So the owner, like what you like to say, Max, is the fish rots from the head down, right?
A fish stinks from the head. Yeah,
Yeah, the owner is a fucking he's
wreck.
terrible.
It's a train wreck,
Bro.
and
He
it's
needs to
seeping
get
into the
out of
organization where
yeah.
you're paying Carson Wentz all this money and trading 2 third-round picks. It's like if I was a team, and this can transition to my other loser. Why the hell would you draft a quarterback in the first round like Kenny Pickett? Or why wouldn't you just go trade for Matt Ryan for a 3rd-round pick?
Right.
Why? I feel like every quarterback other than Kenny Pickett was a loser. That includes Jimmy Garoppolo. That includes is there anyone else one?
Baker.
Okay, Baker. I don't know if you have Baker as something or
I would say the fact that all those other quarterbacks went late, like, yeah, like you think Baker's gonna go to Seattle now? Like, I think they're set. And you think what Baker's gonna go to Carolina? Like, no, they just drafted what's his name?
Matt
Matt
Corral and
Matt
Jimmy
yeah.
G. Where the F's the market for him?
I don't know. It's gonna be one of those things, Max, where it's Sam Bradford situation. Someone's gonna have to get hurt, and someone's gonna have to be desperate, and they're gonna be all right. Well, let me get Jimmy G now, save my season. But yeah, a lot of quarterbacks are losers. I'm gonna keep that theme a little bit later because it was hard. Like we said in the beginning of the podcast, it was hard to pick out some losers as far as teams draft class. There's not many that I hated.
Can I add a loser of Malik Willis showing up to the draft?
Yeah, that was an L. And Matt Corral.
Did Malik go day 2 or 3?
Day 3.
Bro,
No,
that
day
is it.
2. No, he went day 2.
That's
Yeah.
bad. I mean, I was shocked. I can't believe that Tennessee, like, I don't know, is that a good swing for them to take on Malik Willis? Like, I feel like if you're a 3rd-round pick at quarterback, I know Russell Wilson worked, guys. I know Tom Brady worked, but how many 3rd-round quarterbacks can you freaking name out there?
Right.
It's just kind of like, damn, like, is he really going to get a fair shake behind Ryan Tannehill? Maybe he is. Maybe they're like, hey, we'll get this rookie quarterback. We'll just kind of just train him to throw the ball deep and give the ball to Derrick Henry.
Yeah, then that's why I have him as one of my losers. I look, like I said, a lot of these players, it's not necessarily that I dislike, and it's like, oh, they suck. Like, no, Treylon Burks, I like Treylon Burks. Malik Willis, to a certain point, I did like Malik Willis, but the direction that the Titans are going, I just don't like it. It's just, I feel like they have a chance to compete right now, and they just threw that away.
The division's wide open. You scared of
The
Jacksonville?
wide open, like newsflash, like the Titans seem like they beat the fucking Colts every year. It seems like, and that's your only competition. And I know Ryan Tannehill had a horrible late season performance, especially in the playoff game. But this guy has got you far enough before. And the fact that you trade a guy in AJ Brown is mind-boggling to me. It's not even like a Packers situation where he wants top tier money to the point where he wants to be the highest paid receiver in the league. Dude, AJ Brown went for fucking pennies to the Eagles compared to some of these receivers. Was it a lot of money? Yeah, but you have to pay for great players. It's the name of the game, bro. And AJ Brown is a phenomenal player for the Tennessee Titans. He has won them games flat out over the years. Thursday Night Football, to be in Pacific, the most recent one against the San Francisco 49ers. You know who ate? AJ Brown. Literally put them on his back. That guy is gone. And of the fact that a guy like AJ Brown, I love Mike Vrabel as a coach. I know Coach of the Year candidate, or he won it for Fox or whatever. I can't remember who won Coach of the Year right now. But getting rid of a guy like AJ Brown out of your locker room, I feel like loses a little bit juice in the locker room with other guys. It doesn't sit well.
I just think there's this thing in the NFL right now, and we're kind of witnessing it, and no one's really talking about it, is the receiver position is kind of being evaluated a little differently. And I'm kind of torn one. I don't know if it's a awful trade by Tennessee. I don't know.
Yeah.
They got a first round pick, and it's just weird to me to like try to figure out like what a receiver's worth nowadays. You know, there's so many good ones. Like what separates maybe Devontae Adams from Mike Evans, who's I would say is like a good 8 spots below him? Is there really that big a line?
Right.
No, there's not. Now Tyreek Hill offers something no one else does. But a lot of these receivers, man, it's just kind of like it's like a guy who scores 18 points a game compared to 22. Like, what's the difference, really? And that's how I feel teams are looking at it. And I honestly, I don't know what's right anymore. I don't know. Is there a case to be made for this? Is there a case to be made for that?
Well, forever, Max, till these guys' careers ended, Treylon Burks and AJ Brown are going to be tied at the hip.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's going to look at who got more yards, who got more touchdowns, who's better, Treylon Burks or AJ Brown.
And it's literally worse because they're literally comp to each other. Like Treylon Burks was comp to AJ Brown.
And this brings me to my next loser, Deebo Samuel. I think he's a fat loser, bro. Straight up. A guy in AJ Brown who was quiet about what he wanted, wasn't out there in the fucking club saying I want to trade. His brother not on Facebook commenting on random ass dudes saying he's gone, going to Jeff Darlington saying this and that, and the Schefter reports. So much noise with Deebo Samuel. You know who got their fucking wish? AJ Brown. He was quiet about it. And he went to a hell of a team in the Philadelphia Eagles and got paid. And sorry, Deebo, the fact of the matter is AJ Brown is better than you. The money that you're gonna get is gonna be nothing more than AJ Brown. Because right now, you're not better than him. You may be same level, but you're not gonna get paid more than AJ Brown.
I think only the Niners would give him more just because of what he means to that team and
that's not going to happen.
Yeah, and I don't think they're going to give him that money. And honestly, I would throw in the Niners as part of just a loser because I didn't like Drake Jackson. I don't really think he's that good. He's just a guy who's just so ordinary. And, you know, he might look good next year because he plays on a loaded front. It's just this wasn't going to be a big draft for them anyway because they gave up so many assets for Trey Lance. So it's kind of hard to grade their draft in the sense that, hey, if Trey Lance is great, then yeah, that first-round pick was worth it. But if he's bad, you're like, oh, my God, we just burnt a first-round pick and a bunch of other crap for this dude who can't play dead.
Yeah. And this is one thing that I love about the Treylon Burks and AJ Brown trade is that the Niners were thinking about doing this deal with the whole taking a pick in the first round to a team, whatever, the Jets or whoever the fuck wanted to do it, trading Deebo to them, paying them right away, and getting the replacement in Treylon Burks.
Well, haven't they shown that one in the past? Is that not DeForest Buckner? And how did that work?
Right. So they're going to be tied at the hip at this too. Like, what's going to happen when like the fans week 1, Debo has a strained hamstring out for 10 weeks. What the
Yeah.
fuck? Why
It
didn't we
doesn't
trade him?
it doesn't make any sense, one, just in the sense that it's like for the Niners, right? And I said this after they lost the Super Bowl. I said, why don't you just cut Jimmy G, go draft one of these rookie quarterbacks? Which they did. They did it anyway. They went, or they whatever, whenever they went there, they got Trey Lance, right?
Yeah.
If you get Trey Lance, why don't you just keep everybody else? Isn't that the point of getting him too? So you can keep everyone else who's good on your team?
Yeah.
And now they don't want to do that. It just doesn't seem like they're running it well enough because one, two, it's like, where's Jimmy G gonna go? Is there a huge freaking market unless someone breaks their leg? Like if Mitch Trubisky gets hurt and Kenny Pickett, then maybe Jimmy G, you get a second round pick for him. But right now the market's not there, man. It's not there for him. It's not there for Baker. And
Yeah.
Debo's market might have just got jacked by AJ Brown.
Yeah, straight up. AJ went to the spot where Debo possibly wanted to go. You know, Debo loser. Uh, next loser for you, Max. Do you have one more,
It's my
or is that
last
all?
one. And it kind of ties into the receiver stuff. It's the Cardinals. I don't know why they traded for Marquise Brown. If it's just to appease Kyler Murray and keep him there, I guess. But a first round pick for Marquise Brown, a guy who's nowhere near the echelon of receiver as AJ Brown, Devontae Adams. You gave up a first round pick, and if you don't sign him, you're going to look like a bigger idiot. So what the hell is the point of this? Is just to be, hey, we got more speed. What the fuck did you draft Rondale Moore for? Andy Isabella all those years ago, and you're just getting this guy who I don't think is great. One, I know you kind of liked how he played towards the end of the year, but a first round pick for him, they just overpaid, man. And then the rest of their draft, they didn't have a first round pick. They grabbed the tight end again, which is, I feel like, just a luxury pick. You don't really need that. You just traded for Zach Ertz, and I just didn't love their draft.
I liked one guy. I like Cam Thomas out of San Diego State. He was one of my top 5 defensive ends. The reason why he fell so low, I think it was like a herniated disc or something. He had some type of injury concerns. But going back on the Cardinals, yeah, it's mind-boggling to me that Marquise Brown went for a first-round pick. That's absolutely insane. And if you think about it, he went for more value than Devontae Adams. That's kind of insane to think about. And it all comes down to Kyler. This is all Kyler's mess. That's all it is. It's just to please Kyler, to shut him the hell up. Like, I wouldn't doubt Kyler had some type of talk with these guys and said, well, why don't you give me guys that I'm familiar with in college? Because we all know Hollywood Brown and Kyler once upon a time played in Oklahoma, put up big numbers. Go get my boy, you know? And the good organizations are like, no, like, we're not going to spend a first round pick on your boy, Hollywood Brown. Maybe for a second, not a first, though. Like, dude, you have DeAndre Hopkins. What the fuck? If you're the fact that you made this trade, why wouldn't you just keep Christian Kirk? Why?
I guess he's cheaper in the long run, but still, he's coming up next year, so you just
Right.
postpone it a year for a first round pick. So what you're telling me, Arizona, is you were going to pick a receiver in the first round? That's what your philosophy was this draft? Because
Right.
how is a receiver going to help this problem, like your team's problems of just wearing down, not being tough enough, being soft in the ass on defense, having no corners other than Byron Murphy? I don't see how that fixed anything. I don't see how getting Marquise Brown addresses the problems other than appeasing Kyler. And you know what? If Kyler needs that much appeasement, it might not be worth it to keep him.
Right. And I felt like, of course they picked up his 5th-year option. Like, that was news.
Oh,
Of course
wow.
they're gonna pick him up, But all it was to please fucking Munchkin Kyler from throwing a tantrum. They got him Marquise Brown, so it was more like, hey, motherfucker, we got you your guy. Why are you still sucking? You're
Shout out
just
to Lakers and Russell Westbrook for getting LeBron's guy Russ.
right. But let's go over the last loser of the night, and it's one of mine. And I'm gonna roll with the Vikings, man. And this one's based off purely their draft. I know a lot of people like Andrew Booth, but Lewis sign with the 32nd pick, why wouldn't you try to trade it? And
They already traded down, and they didn't even
yeah,
get that much for the pick. They didn't get a second first round pick. They traded from 12 to 32. You didn't get a second first.
absolutely insane. Like, even you said it, you called it on the stream when the trade got announced before the picks. We just knew that the lines moved up. You're like 32 to what they jumped, like
12,
13,
20
12,
picks.
20 fucking picks, and that's all you got? What the hell are you doing?
They got two. They basically got a second, a third, and and a second. Like, what the hell?
It was crazy. And I felt like they threw in the towel. Like, after they saw Sauce and Derek Stingley go, they were kind of like, all right, our draft is fucked. We need corner. That was our number one glaring need, and the two best guys just went. And we can't pick Andrew Booth this fucking high.
I like Booth, but coming off the injury, it's a little risky. Same thing with Stingley. It's a problem with him is drafting him so high. And Sign, I liked him. I didn't think he was going to go in the first. I feel like that's just a pick where it's like, damn, if we can develop him, he'll be special. But he's raw, man. He's freaking really raw in Georgia. He played on the perfect system. And he had 10 first-round picks around him. You know what I'm saying? So it's just weird to me that, hey, we moved down so much. We missed out on all this pristine talent.
Right.
And now we're going to just move back a little more and trade with division rivals and give them weapons that are going to torture us for years because we have no corners. Like, what the hell is that all about? I just don't get their philosophy.
Yeah,
Seems like
the
they're just
value,
stuck in neutral. They're like, we can't go forward, we can't go
right?
backward.
They're just stuck in mud right now, dude. Like, they don't know if they want to be good or just, we're gonna tank. They're just stuck right in the middle, like you said, and it's so frustrating. Like, why wouldn't you just go, you know what? We didn't get a corner, but instead of trading back, which we didn't even get much for, why don't we pick Jameson Williams? Wouldn't you like that more? Like, oh shit, like, Thielen's getting long in the tooth, kind of not being productive anymore.
Why
We got
not?
one of the best receivers in the league. Pair him up with Jameson Williams. Fuck it. Balls to the wall. No, we're going to trade down and not get value, and we're going to pick Lewis Sign.
Yeah. Stupid.
That's just my opinion. Lewis Sign might be fucking good as hell, and all their problems might be fixed with Andrew Booth being picked.
I just
Still,
don't get moving
wait.
down 20 spots and only getting like 2 second-round picks. It's like, yo, why don't you guys go ahead and get a future first and a second?
Right. At least a first next year.
Exactly. I just didn't get it.
Yeah. Oh, man. So that's our winners and our losers. Just to give a little recap. My losers, Titans, Vikings, and then Deebo Samuel. Those are my losers. Max had...
I had every quarterback in the draft not named Kenny Pickett, and I threw in Jimmy Garoppolo and kind of Baker Mayfield-ish to it. The Washington football team / Commandies, and the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah, and winners, Max had Jets, Eagles, and
Baltimore Ravens.
And be more. Those are some great winners. My winners, Giants, Chiefs, and I'm forgetting the last one already.
Houston.
Yep. Derek Stingley. Yeah. We love the draft, bro. And it's fine. It's over. It's sad. But
feels good.
Yeah, it feels good. Feels accomplished, honestly, because we put so much work into draft season, from watching all the film, from all the videos we put out, all the editing, all the graphics, the live stream equipment stuff, and just everything we do towards draft season. We love it so much and we enjoy it. Big ass process. So the fact that we neglected basketball, the NBA playoffs are going on and we haven't talked about them. Like,
we will though. Promise.
We will. Coming up this week or next week, whenever you guys see this, we will be having some basketball content out there for you guys. Draft season's over. NFL's kind of winding down, hopefully. Okay. The NFL was going crazy this year in the offseason. Hopefully it dies down. But we'll be getting some basketball content out to you guys, so look forward to that. Anyone that's been a football fan and draft season fan from us, either you're from the Josh Allen video or you're a loyal subscriber from the get-go. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. If you guys are new to the channel, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Social media, go ahead and follow us at Max_JuanCast. It is right there at the bottom left of the corner of the screen. Max, any last words?
It was a fun draft. It was a crazy draft, and it's been a crazy off season, but I'm glad it's over. It's been a sprint, bro. It's like never a day off with this shit.
Yeah, most definitely. But we'll see you guys next time. All right. Peace.